Hello, Virgo. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing a new segment of love readings. Every other week I'm going to do love. The opposite weeks I'm going to do general. So this week is love, next week is general. The week after that, love again. Like every Friday I'm going to try to release them. The first half is going to be for relationships. The second half is going to be for singles. I'm going to use the Morgan Greer Tarot for the tarot cards by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward Waite. And for the support cards, the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue, if you can see it. There we go. Pretty normal. I've already shuffled the cards for the relationship side anyway. So let's get right into it. You got the Emperor on your side and Judgment. I like this. Alright. Alright, so Judgment does go in your favor. What's happening here? When we're starting out with this situation, the other side, your partner's holding something back. They're not divulging something. Something's going on their side that you don't know about. And what's holding you back is I don't feel like you have the slightest inkling that something's off balance here. So this isn't what hinders you. Your partner not telling you what's going on, and I feel like you don't have any idea. You don't have any idea that they have something they need to tell you. Okay, and that seems to be pushing into the future here, because they do tell you the Wheel of Fortune turns. And they do tell you, I'm not feeling like you really want to hear this though, whatever this is. And immediately you decide that something has to be done. Now, I am getting an interesting situation here. This might be a medical thing. I feel like they might have some problems, or maybe they're having some symptoms of some sort. And this becomes quite apparent that something's not right. And this is why you're like, we need to take care of this now. And you make sure that's what happens. I feel like for a lot of you, that's kind of where this is hitting. Something along those lines, but something isn't going right on your partner's side, and they're trying to keep it from you, but because they don't want to even deal with it, and they know you're going to make them. So if it's not medical, it's something along those lines, if this is hitting with you. Okay. So it becomes apparent that something has to change here. I feel like if it's medical, like they have some type of symptom, and you're like, what's going on? And then I feel like you take care of it right away. You're like, we're going to take care of this now. It could be financial for some of you as well. And whatever it is that they are having problems with, for whatever reason, it comes forward. And you're like, well, and I feel like it's kind of like you don't like it. Not that you'd like the medical thing either, but you're like, we have to handle this now. Like, we're going to handle this now. And that gets things moving in a better direction. I'm sure this can go other ways, but for this general read, I'm getting it's like either medical or financial in a sense. Like, something isn't right with your partner, and they're trying to hide it from you because either they're embarrassed about it or they don't want it to be true. I'm feeling it's more they don't want it to really be true. They're not really wanting to deal with it. But it comes right to the forefront one way or another. Either a bill comes forward if it's a financial thing, or some type of proof that there's something wrong, or if it's medical, like there's some type of symptom that you witness and you're just like, what's going on? And you're like, either way, no matter what situation this is hitting, you're like, we're dealing with this now, because this is going to become a very devastating situation if we don't deal with it right now. And you're insistent, like, we're dealing with it now. That's that. Now, what makes the situation better is they put in the effort to make this. You're making them put in that effort to fix this. This is making the situation better. They're going to take the effort. They're going to make the effort to correct it. I feel like you're making them correct it. I feel like they have to. Like, you're just kind of pushing them that they have to. You're helping where you can, but they have to pick up the major pieces. What also helps, I've noticed here, which I was wondering how this was going to hit, is like, I feel like you're kind of arguing with them a little bit, because you have to. Be it financial, medical, or something else along these lines that kind of fits in. You're fighting with them. You're not backing down either, and you can't. You can't. I feel like you're upset about it. You're upset that they didn't tell you before it got this far. And the third card I got here is like you're keeping communication going. You're making sure they keep telling you what's going on. I feel like you're on them about it. These cards kind of go together because you're kind of, your feelings are a little hurt that they didn't tell you beforehand, and there might be a lot of little arguments going forward about it because you're just like, you should have told me, this is not right. You know we're in this together, right? Like, this isn't just you in this relationship. This is us in this relationship. You should have said something. And I feel like you might be sparring back and forth a little bit, or like more like getting at them a little bit, or the other person, whoever that may be. You're like telling them, like, listen, you can't do that. That's what's helping, because you're not relenting, and you shouldn't be, I feel, in this sense. You are in the position of control here. You're the emperor in this situation. You're overseeing the whole situation. They're doing their part. They're picking up the major pieces. I feel like they're doing the action as necessary. You're overseeing it, though. You're making sure everything does stay on point. And you are garnering success for them. Now, I feel like they're succeeding in this. Like, your involvement this way is helping them succeed, but there is burdens on their side, so it's not an effortless win. They have to fight for it. How do I get this out here? Where this is ending up is judgment in your favor. Things are going back the way they should, or things are getting taken care of the way they should. They're burdened about it. Because I feel like they didn't want to deal with it. They were trying to ignore it. But above that, on their side, where they're dealing with things, there's another card here. Like, this is waiting for things to even out. So they're working on it. This had to happen. This is what's fair. But this had to be taken care of. Like, justice is out. Like, justice, like, paying what's due. They have to. This has been coming. This is of their own doing in some respect. I feel like it got this far because they didn't handle it sooner like they should have. And the reason they didn't handle it sooner like they should have is because, well, they didn't want to. They were trying to ignore it, for one. But had they have told you earlier when it started, it wouldn't have gotten this far out of control anyway. Which, another thing here, if they had told you earlier, you would have been on them to correct it earlier, and that's why they didn't tell you, because they didn't want to even deal with it. It's kind of this vicious circle thing going on there. Now, spiritually, there's two things going on here. Because even though you're arguing and you're pushing them, like you're getting at them, the other person, you're telling them, like, listen, you're going to have to do this. Even though you're having that active role in this situation, you are feeling kind of like you're stuck here. You're just you're communicating and you're watching and you're absorbing and you're saying what you need to say, but you're also feeling like your partner has to do a lot of this. And you're kind of relying on them to do their part. You're pushing, and it's working, but you can't physically just do it and get it done yourself. You can't force it. Like, if it's a medical thing, you can't force them to take care of themselves the way they need to, or take the pills, or whatever they need to do. Or if it's a financial thing, I feel like it's something they're in control of that they have to handle. They have to do their part, and they're doing what you're telling them to, but you're still kind of like at the mercy of what they're going to do, in a sense. Like, you can't just fix it. You can't just pay it off or whatever you want to do. You're kind of stuck in the situation. I got the High Priestess here on their side too, that's matching that, which I feel like they're owning up, and I feel like they're realizing they shouldn't have done what they done it the way they did it. If they'd handled it earlier, it would have gone a lot better. They're also feeling very safe and secure with you, even though you're angry and they don't like that they disappointed you. they still feel very loved, and they feel like they have your support, even though you're kind of like getting at them and arguing with them a bit. They're thankful that you're there to yell at them. I guess it's kind of how it feels. Like the fact that you care to like that means a lot, and this is what's keeping them moving. This is what's getting them to fix it, because they're like, this is another reason why they didn't tell you in the beginning, because they didn't want to handle it. So I don't know. They have a lot of respect for you, and they feel very comfortable and safe. I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like you're yelling at them a bit. This other person, and I feel like it's appreciated. I guess that makes sense. I mean, somebody needed to, and they're thankful that you're there to do that. Otherwise, this would really be a mess. Okay. So I think the overall for the relationship part for Virgo is something is not being told to you, but it's going to come forward, and you're going to be very much pushing to get it fixed with your partner. Like you're going to need to handle this, and you're going to tell them you need to handle this, and you're going to tell them what to do. I feel like, but it's going to be a little difficult because you're kind of stuck watching, and they have to do the majority of it. You can push to get it done, but they still have to do the majority of it, and it's just kind of difficult. But it does even out. I feel like your feelings are hurt, but I feel like you're very appreciated at the same time. The only reason this didn't come toward you earlier was because they didn't want to deal with it, and they knew that you would make them deal with it. That was the only reason. It's not that they didn't trust you or didn't love you. They very much do trust you. They very much do love you. They didn't want to deal with it, and they knew you wouldn't allow them to push it to the side. So that's the whole reason. Okay, so this is the relationship side. Let's go into the single side. And typical with the other readings, like the Romance Angel Oracle cards didn't come out, but I haven't been forcing them out. If I feel the need to pull them out, I pull them out. I feel like the information came through there that you might have needed. If the reading resonated with you. Alright, so let's do Virgo singles. Single Virgos. Single Virgos. Okay. Alright, single Virgos, what's going on? I got fast changes. Virgos usually like to be a little bit more methodical, but what's going on there? You got the Knight of Pentacles for where you're standing, though. Alright, we're going to stop. I'm not getting anything with Oracle cards yet, so we'll hold off. But what's going on in your environment? Something that feels like it's lost is not. So I feel like as this starts in the for a single Virgo, someone you thought wasn't interested is going to change the direction. Like they are interested, they're just holding back. Somebody's waiting for you to give them the green light in a sense too. I feel like communication's turning into action. Somebody might say something, and it may seem just like melancholy or just not really nothing factual to it or something. It just may seem like it's just words, but then it turns into action. I do feel like this is a quick change. Like somebody you didn't think was really interested or really had a chance to happen here, something goes forward. Like it's not expected. I feel like it's really unexpected. Is this kind of like an in and out thing? I feel like this is like I feel like there's like an on off quick thing. This is interesting because I feel like it's like giving but then not, giving and not. Because you got the King of Rods is where it starts. Active person going out, getting what you want, quick flash going on into this situation. The King is usually more stable, but I feel like it's like all in, and then all of a sudden you're like left here with the Four of Swords, like there's nothing happening. But then after that, you got the Queen of Rods popping in here, which is like very emotional, very, connecting. Everything's happening again. But after that, you got the Two of Swords, which makes me feel like you're vexed. You're just kind of like, there's nothing going on again. Like, I kind of feel like this is mirroring the Four of Swords. I feel like it's nothing going on again. It's like in and out, in and out. It's like all or nothing, all or nothing. And this is someone from the past, which you may have. It's either you gave an offer or they gave an offer, and it wasn't moved on. So this is something from the past that's coming back, that one of you made the offer, the other person was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But since this has happened, since that moment happened, it's been thought about. And whoever decided to refuse the offer decided to give it a chance. But then kind of flip-flops and goes, no, and backs off. But then flip-flops again and gets back in. And then flip-flops again, and then steps back out. It's like in and out. There's a lot of fast movement here, too. It's like, I feel like it's rush in, rush out, rush in, rush out. It's the same person, though. So if this is hitting for you, it's the same person. Rush in, rush out, rush in, rush out. Oddly enough, even though it's a little bit unstable, I feel like you're enjoying it. You got the Sun card in your mental aspect. I feel like you're enjoying it. It's almost like you're building. It's almost like an unstable pattern of in and out, in and out, in and out, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again. I feel like it's going back and forth, and I feel like I'm kind of like feeling like you might be getting used to it. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm only saying that because it sounds like it could be a little problematic. I don't know. I don't usually use that term, but like this could create more problems. You could get very used to this, which could cause upset in your life. I'm not really thinking this is good for a Virgo, but you definitely have to make the decision for yourself. I mean, everybody's chart's different. You might have more fire in your chart that it doesn't really matter. The chemistry is there. You want this to work out. Okay. So, we got the Love Yourself First card going on here. This in-out thing, I don't feel like this is really conducive for you. I don't feel like this is a good thing. I don't think you should allow it. This is just how I'm saying it. This is general reads. You have to decide for yourself. I don't know if this is good. Only because the Love Yourself First, it's kind of flipping and flopping. You might be having moments where you're like, this isn't good for me, and you're kind of trying to get away from it. But the passion pulls you in. There's a strong passion here. A strong chemistry. It's hard to say no to this person. But one of the reasons that this flip-flop keeps happening is I know it says wedding, but to me it's like there's already an established relationship going on, and they're not telling you about it. One way or another, either you know about it and it's kind of a side thing, or there's somebody else they're seeing and they're not telling you about it, and it's just like they're just trying to have their cake and eat it too. I'm not feeling good about this, I'll be honest with you. Granted, it's a general read, you have to take it for what it is for yourself. I feel like the passion is really strong here, and you're really caught up in it, and you're willing to wait it out. I do really feel like, because it gets really strong, but it's like, even like in the end result here, I get the Two of Swords, like the swords are crossed, there's no movement. I also feel like you're not getting to know this person how they really are. Like something isn't right here. You're not getting in, they're not telling you what's really happening in their life. And you might get the false notion that maybe you do, or they're telling you enough, but I don't feel like they are. You're already becoming very dedicated to this. This on again, off again thing, I feel like it's very upsetting for your life, but you're kind of settling into it, and it could go on for a while if you're not able to nip it in the bud in the beginning. I thought more was going to come out with that. Seems like it's kind of like dying down on me. I'm also getting like with the environment again. Like I feel like they're trying to reiterate with this with the 5 of Swords and the 9 of what rods? Because the 9 of Rods is hidden. Like they have other things. There's other things they have going on, and they're leaving you wanting. I feel like they're leaving you wanting. They're just giving here and there, but I feel like they're even though the 5 is in the environment. I kind of feel like they're enjoying having half and half. There's a lot that they don't want to give up that they already have established, and they're not communicating it to you. I feel like that's not really being said. And when they come towards you, I feel like you really kind of, it's like, you're really like blown away by it. Like, oh, you really? And just it kind of, you're caught right up in it. Okay. What else do we have going on here? I think the overall for this, because I feel like, I don't know if I went through it kind of quick or not. It feels like it kind of summed up fast, but it's a video read, so I realize you can rewatch it. It's an on-again, off-again thing, but I don't feel like the other person's being honest with you, and I do feel like it's going to upset your life. If this reading is hitting with you, I feel like it's going to throw your life out of balance a little bit, and it's going to cause, especially with Virgo, I feel like it's going to filter into other pieces of your life, and it's going to make you cranky in other areas. Even though you're feeling, even though you kind of feel like you're happy in this situation, there's going to be aggravations, and those aggravations might come out in different places, like in financial situations or like career situations. It's going to upset your life. So I think, if I was going to say this to myself or to someone else that I cared about, that I knew, I would say the book Paul McKenna, How to Mend a Broken Heart, might be for you, because there's exercises to where you can step out of the situation and view it from the outside and see what's really happening. It doesn't get rid of emotions, but it does help you like step back and look at it objectively and decide. Well, when you look at it objectively, you like look at it and you decide what you truly want for your life, and you see where it's going. 'Cause I feel like this on again, off again thing is really going to cause problems in your life, and it's going to filter out into other pieces. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Of course, let me know below if this worked out for you guys. It's a new thing I'm trying with the love readings. Of course, if you want a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.